The preparedness industry sells a very specific fantasy. It is built around tactical bug-out bags, expensive gas masks, and bunker mentalities for highly cinematic doomsday events. But actual survival physics rarely care about your gear. We tend to focus our anxiety on visually terrifying events. A volcanic eruption or a massive wall of water makes for great television. But the threats that actually claim the most lives are almost entirely invisible. Extreme heat and severe cold waves. This chart compares global fatalities. Volcanoes and tsunamis caused 500,000 deaths in history. Extreme heat kills 500,000 yearly and cold waves claim 4.5 million. Surviving temperatures requires financial capital. Kinetic events requires $0 but highly specific behavioral knowledge. You have limited money, time, and cognitive bandwidth. Preparing for every Hollywood scenario guarantees you will be underprepared for the statistically likely to hit your zip code. You need to apply a strict return on investment framework to disaster survival. Survival is a strict alignment of your specific geographical risk with either financial or behavioral capital. We map these threats onto a preparedness matrix. Down here in the high-cost, low-effort quadrant are the threats that demand high upfront financial capital but require almost zero physical exertion during the actual event. Extreme cold is the #1 statistical killer. Surviving it relies entirely on preemptive infrastructure investments. You need robust HVAC systems, a reliable backup generator, and deep physical insulation in your home. Without the mechanical infrastructure to control your immediate indoor climate, the environment rapidly turns hostile. In a severe blizzard, kinetic movement is entirely useless. You cannot outrun or out. These temperatures, cyclones, and hurricanes follow the exact same economic logic. Your survival depends heavily on preemptive material purchases. Securing plywood, reinforcing your home structure, and buying 3 days of food and water all require labor and money long before the storm arrives. These solutions provide a high probability of passive survival, but they come with a strict trade-off. They are expensive and they fail immediately if caught outside your fortified property. Financial capital buys passive survival, but it ties your life firmly to the structural integrity of a single physical location. On the opposite side of the spectrum are sudden kinetic and electrical events. A generator or a tactical bug-out bag cannot save you here. This animation shows the precise biomechanical posture required to survive a lightning strike in an open field. You crouch extremely low, keep your heels touching. Cover your ears and tuck your head. This specific geometry forces the electrical current around your vital organs rather than through them. Surviving a flash flood if you are swept away requires highly counterintuitive behavioral physics. You must remain upright, face downstream, and keep your feet elevated and pointed forward. This prevents your legs from snagging on submerged debris and pulling you under. Extreme hail demands strict spatial discipline. You have to abandon speed in favor of immediate overhead cover or crouch in the ground depression, using your arms to shield your head and neck from critical blunt force trauma. The financial cost to prepare for these events is zero. However, your survival relies entirely on executing these exact bodily geometries under extreme psychological terror. In kinetic events, your body's physical geometry dictates your survival. A slight aviation and posture compromises the exact physics keeping you alive. The final category consists of spatial awareness threats. Here, survival depends solely on early pattern recognition and exploiting your local topography. To escape a dry landslide or mass movement, you have to execute a specific spatial vector. Landslides flow faster at the center and slower at the edges, so you must run diagonally across the slope. Then straight down, wet mass movements like volcanic mud flows or lahars act like fast-moving concrete. The fluid dynamics tactic here is to become as buoyant as possible by floating on your back. Utilizing surface tension against the dense flow to prevent drowning or head trauma, an approaching tsunami offers mandatory early recognition cues: a rapidly receding shoreline, localized earthquakes, and a loud acoustic roaring. In the ocean, this image proves the sheer kinetic energy of the water. Your only defense is immediate evacuation to high ground or a tall reinforced concrete structure. The brutal reality of topographical threats is the timing. If you wait for undeniable visual confirmation of the event, you guarantee you will not have time to execute the survival heuristic. Your greatest asset against topographical threats isn't speed. It is early pattern recognition. Hesitation to move is mathematically fatal. We can synthesize this data into an actionable audit. This is how you assign your resources based on your local geography rather than generalized anxiety. If your preparedness funds are currently zero, your best return on investment is strictly memorizing the free behavioral postures for lightning, floods, and mass movements. This graphic shows how the geographic optimizer operates. Ignore statistically irrelevant threats. If you are landlocked, thinking about coastal tsunamis is a waste of time. Direct all your funds toward defending against the specific climate extremes native to your zip code. Do not buy into the action hero myth. Trying to outrun a pyroclastic flow or outdrive fast-moving floodwaters usually results in death. Passive observation, staying put, and assuming the correct posture are what actually keep people alive. True disaster preparedness is a ruthless filtering of noise. You must match the right input, whether that is money or behavior, to the statistical reality of where you sleep every night. Disasters are chaotic by nature, but your response must be calculated. Spend your money where the statistics demand it, and spend your time learning the physics of everything else.